What do you think when you see this animal? Is it a bug? A spider? Perhaps a tick? The answer is none of the above. This is a Mite Harvestmen, and there's probably one closer to you right now than you might think. Don't turn around, he's watching. Although these arthropods live around the world, almost no one knows about them. Go outside, dig in the dirt, and you may come face to face with a Mite Harvestmen. You'll probably have to squint though. These arachnids are tiny. They don't even reach half an inch long. Predominantly living in soil and leaf litter, the Mite Harvestmen exist right under our feet and just outside our scope of understanding. Let's play a little game. We all know this is an arachnid, right? 8 legs, a little creepy, a little crawly, but super beneficial to our planet for their free pest control services. Seriously, if these guys charged us for their work, the inflation rhetoric would skyrocket. Pun intended. So if that's an arachnid, how about this? Or this? This guy? What about her? If you guessed that they're all arachnids, give yourself a gold star in the comments. The term arachnid is often used exclusively for spiders, but spiders aren't the only arachnids. Ticks, scorpions, mites, harvestmen, and more fill out this class of animals. They have no wings, 8 legs as adults, and 2 body segments that are sometimes fused, such as with today's animals. In fact, that last example shown was a close relative to the Mite Harvestmen. This is a harvestman, also commonly known as a daddy longlegs. It's an arachnid, but it's not a spider. Mites are also arachnids, but they are not harvestmen. Mite Harvestmen just sort of pulled the short straw in the common name lottery. Mite Harvestmen are harvestmen. They just happen to have super short legs and superficially look like mites. Mites are way smaller, which is saying something because Mite Harvestmen are already so small. You usually need a microscope to see mites, but Mite Harvestmen can be seen with the naked eye. The name mite also has a negative connotation. Dust mites, storage mites, skin mites, these invertebrates are parasites on pets and livestock, cause allergies in our homes, and bite us while we play outside. But Mite Harvestmen are mites in name only. They're part of nature's cleanup crew, eating fungi and decaying material. Also, plot twist, harvestmen eat mites. Just because they look like the little bloodsuckers doesn't mean they act like them. Like other harvestmen, Mite Harvestmen are harmless to humans. They don't even have venom. Mite Harvestmen are considered something like a sister group to the long-legged harvestmen with which we're more familiar. There are currently over 200 described species of Mite Harvestmen, but they're kind of bad at moving around. My guess is the tiny legs. In many cases, Mite Harvestmen species that are local to a certain area only occur in that area. In other words, they display high levels of endemism. They're present on every continent except Antarctica, but they're relatively absent from oceanic islands. We really don't know all that much about them, and that's largely due to their cryptic nature. Mite Harvestmen are not easy to find. However, it's clear in the research we do have that they're not big on family vacations. For a Mite Harvestman, home is where the heart is, which these arthropods do have. However, a majority of them do not have eyes. Mite harvestmen get around using other senses. Tactile vibrations from their surroundings, the feeling of moisture in the air, or perhaps the scent of something decomposing. They're at home on the ground, often moving slowly and stealthily through leaf litter and soil. You know how sometimes the ground sort of has a bumpy or crusty texture? That's the kind of place where mite harvestmen like to hang out. Some species have even taken to cave dwelling. Darkness poses no challenge to an animal without eyes. They move through the world in search of food, and if they're disturbed, they let everyone around them know it. Mite harvestmen have these tiny little cone structures on their body that release stinky chemicals when the invertebrates feel threatened. Think kind of like how a skunk wards off foes with its stench. Scent likely plays a large role in the mite harvestman's life. It's currently believed pheromones are how these arthropods find each other to mate. Unlike the males in their sister group, mite harvestmen do not have a penis. Instead, they use a spermatopositor. Based solely on the name, they don't sound that different, but basically it's more about how all the gametes get mixed up. In harvestmen, it's direct. In mite harvestmen, it's indirect. Although mite harvestmen embrace while mating, there's no penetration. The male just deposits a package of sperm, called a spermatophore, near the female's genital opening. It may be different from other harvestmen because mite harvestmen are considered a more primitive example of the harvestman group as a whole, so they just never developed past doing it that way. Once fertilized, the female lays her eggs close by and they eventually hatch, but the specific details of that process is still a mystery. So here we have an arachnid that's not a spider, an arthropod with the name mite that isn't a mite at all. It's closely related to harvestmen, the daddy longlegs we've seen around outside, but also kind of different based on how it looks and behaves. And it's living in fragmented pockets around the world, but nearly no one knows about it. The mite harvestman is an enigma, but hopefully this video has shed a little light on it. Maybe next time you're taking a walk in the woods, you'll keep your eyes peeled for the elusive mite harvestman. You can also direct your eyes to the AFF Patreon, where we release exclusive videos, fun art, and more. Join Dad, SpikeSpiegel93, and the others to check it out. You can also support this human-made content by giving a thumbs up, sharing the video, or leaving a comment. Thank you for watching Animal Fact Files.